That's right, we're back talking about Sonic Movie 3, but it might not be for what you guys think. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, bringing us another video. In this video today, that's right, we're back talking about Sonic Movie 3. Now, I know the movie's been out for a bit now, a lot of people's eyes are now set towards the future of the Sonic franchise with what's coming up in 2025, Sonic Movie 4, etc. And don't get me wrong, we have a lot of videos planned talking about all of those things. And in fact, I think that's what one of our next videos is going to be. But now that we've released all the big Sonic Movie 3 videos, you know, the reviews, the reactions, the merchandise unboxings, the post-credit scene discussions, all of that, once when the dust kind of settles from Sonic Movies 3 release, now it's been a few weeks, all eyes really focus to the box office, or at least a few eyes do. This is really going to determine where the franchise goes in the future, how much confidence the studio is going to continue to hold in the franchise, and that's something I've been keeping a very close eye on for the movie since it was announced with its release date. I always said that this was going to be a hard-fought battle between Sonic and Mufasa if they stuck to the same date, and that's certainly what it has been. Of course, we know that Sonic beat Mufasa, surprisingly, at the box office on opening weekend. I say surprisingly because me, along with a lot of other people, thought Mufasa was going to win single-handedly. But no, Sonic Movie 3 brought in a second franchise best haul of $60 million on its opening weekend, and then continued to bring in a lot more money since. I think it actually held #1 at the domestic box office for 2 weeks in a row, but Mufasa has always been able to keep a consistent lead on Sonic when it comes to its worldwide box office total. But since then, Mufasa has actually taken the domestic lead from Sonic. Now, Mufasa, once again, has always had a consistent lead on Sonic at the worldwide box office. That's not surprising. And when Paramount looks at these box office numbers, I don't think they're exactly trying to compare Sonic to Mufasa one for one, and that's how they're going to dictate where the franchise goes in terms of its financial future. What I think they're going to look at is how this movie compares to the rest of the Sonic movie franchise. Now, I should note, Sonic Movie 3 has already passed Sonic Movie 1 at the worldwide box office. That is not entirely surprising. I think we all could have maybe guessed it was going to do that, but very happy to see that it's not at least the lowest grossing so far. But we know that Sonic Movie 2 made almost $100 million more than that, making over $400 million. But if we look at Sonic Movie 3 a few weeks into its worldwide box office run, it is currently, at the time of me filming this video, at $336 million. Which, yes, once again, is more than Sonic Movie 1, but is still a considerable amount behind Sonic Movie 2. Now, at the end of the day, I think there's a good chance that Sonic Movie 3 does pass Sonic Movie 2 to become the highest grossing film of the franchise. But I don't think it's going to be as significant of a lead as I think we thought it was going to be. There were a lot of people saying Sonic Movie 3 was going to make $1 billion. I never thought that was going to happen. There was no franchise in history, in the history of cinema, that's had a leap from $400 million to $1 billion. If you guys want to talk about $1 billion, the Sonic movie franchise as a whole just crossed $1 billion total as a franchise, so if that makes you feel better, there's that. But this individual film was not going to ever make $1 billion. I think you can see with how Sonic compares to Mufasa worldwide, Sonic doesn't have the same pull he does in somewhere like America. Sonic is no bigger than anywhere in the world than here in the United States. So it was no secret that the franchise was going to perform significantly better over here than somewhere like Japan, or even in European countries. But what I was hoping for Sonic Movie 3 was anywhere from $500 to $600 million, which would put it at around $500 million to over $500 million, which I think is a great thing that Paramount would love to hear. But unfortunately, I don't think the movie is going to get to that point. Would I love it to? Absolutely, who wouldn't? But if we're looking at the financials here, if we're looking at the trajectory, well, yes, I think there is still a very good probable chance that Sonic Movie 3 becomes the biggest of the franchise at the box office, as it's still not performing badly. I don't think it's performing up to the standards that a lot of fans and also Paramount might have had for it, especially with its strong start. It's kind of strange to see Mufasa, which was a movie that didn't only start off significantly worse than Sonic at the domestic box office, but it was a way more poorly received film. Sonic Movie 3 is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and is, I think, the highest grossing score for a video game film in the website's history. Not just that, but the audience score is better, the critic score is better, everything about it is considered better. Now, what are some of the reasons for this? One, ever since the movies were both released, Mufasa has always carried the primary screenings. This means that it gets priority over IMAX, Dolby, all of the big showings. It has significantly more showings than Sonic 3, so there's more opportunity for people to go watch that movie than Sonic. Heck, I've gone on my AMC app at points to see Sonic Movie 3 tickets, and it's buried beneath a bunch of movies with Mufasa right at the very top, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense with that being the second biggest film that there was at the theater that day. There's There's been a lot of talk and conspiracy about Disney really trying to suffocate Sonic. That can obviously be seen on social media with them hiding anything Sonic related in their Twitter, but also with stuff like that. Like I said, Disney holds a lot of power, and I always thought that Mufasa would make more money, but I thought that Disney wouldn't be this slimy about their practices. Now, I don't think this is entirely some big conspiracy. I think that Disney is doing their normal thing that they do with their films and how much they want their big releases to be pushed by theaters. So that 100% plays a role into why Mufasa is slowly gaining more ground on Sonic. I already think it has over a $100 million lead on it worldwide, but still, we'll have to see how Sonic Movie 3 does. Now, what does this mean for the future of the Sonic franchise? There are some people that have been saying, oh, they might not even make Sonic 4 now. I don't see that happening. I still see this being the biggest of the franchise. But I think there will be a lot more pressure on Sonic Movie 4 now than there was for all past installments. I think Sonic Movie 3 is going to manage to just squeak by 2, which isn't amazing. It's good. It's good that it won't be regressing. And you never know. There's still a chance that it makes less than 2, which would be bad. But regardless, I think that means that you're going to need to pull out big guns to ensure that you not only keep increasing your box office with 4 being bigger than 3, but just the hope that it doesn't crash and burn. And those are for a few reasons. I think that you need to get Jim Carrey back. I think that's essential. He's turned into the star of these movies. Whether you guys like it or not as Sonic fans, he is kind of the biggest draw for general audiences going to these movies. With his biggest shadow was this movie cycle, I think they're going to put a big emphasis on him for movie 4. I don't even know if it's entirely the intention of the filmmakers to have Shadow have a big role in 4, but I definitely see them kind of having to force him into it a little more than they probably would have otherwise with the movie's performance at the box office. I don't think they're going to cancel this movie. I don't think that they're going to do anything bad with that, but I do think that they are going to be a lot more cautious and maybe look over movie 4 a lot more than they did with 3, because I don't think, once again, this movie's performing up to their standards. I think they were expecting a lot bigger, a lot better. Now, it's important to remember the Sonic movies don't have a tremendous budget, so I think Sonic Movie 3's budget was like a little over $100 million, 120 or something like that. Not only are they going to make that back, they're going to make a profit from it, so at the end of the day, that's what matters most to them. But Paramount wants to see the movie franchise having a significant trajectory upward by at least $100 million each movie. I think Sonic Movie 3 is going to stall around the mid $400 million to very high $400 million. I don't think it's going to reach that 500 marker like I really was hoping it would. I just don't think Sonic has the international legs to carry it to that point, which is really unfortunate. Sonic has always been a product of the United States. I know the franchise was created in Japan, but it's clear that it has the most pull appeal over here, hence why so much Sonic material is released over here, and also why the franchise's most successful efforts as of late have come from America. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to root for Sonic Movie 3. I still want it to do very good, but it is a little bit underperforming expectations. I don't think a lot of Sonic fans are looking at that. I think Sonic fans are kind of making fun of Disney, being like, haha, you guys are petty about Sonic, but at the end of the day, Mufasa is still making significantly more money than Sonic, and also is now beating it at the domestic box office as well. So there's not a whole lot for us to laugh about anymore. We had our moment to brag, have fun, poke fun at Disney, but at this point, Sonic fans, I'm not saying you guys watching this video, but you guys know who I'm talking about, are just kind of making themselves look like idiots, for lack of better words. I don't think a lot of them understand how box office works. I don't think a lot of them understand the international and domestic differences, and also the factors that play into this kind of stuff. Once again, I don't want fans to think that this is terrible, that Sonic Movie 4 is going to get canceled because of Sonic Movie 3's performance. It's not doing bad, I want to clarify that. If this was still in the 100 million, 200 million range, that's where I'd actually start pushing a red button and getting worried. As of now, it's doing fine, but I think that not only were fans, but also Paramount, who this matters most to, was expecting more than just fine for its box office performance. I don't think it's going to be enough to deter them from Sonic 4. What all this means is I think you can expect Sonic Movie 4 to be a lot different from what was advertised at the end of Sonic Movie 3. I still think we're going to get the characters that were promised to us, but I think we're going to get more Jim Carrey. I think you have to bring him back, and especially with him expressing interest in returning, you gotta do it. You literally have to. And also, Shadow will not only be back, which I think we all expected, but probably with a bigger role than what he had in 3. Yeah, they're going to make sure that they milk Shadow for all he's worth. And speaking of Shadow, we heard reports that if movie 3 did really well, we could get a Shadow spin-off project. I hope we can still get that, but this performance kind of has me worrying about the likelihood of that still happening. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but regardless, this is where I pass off to you and ask, what do you think? What do you think about Sonic Movie 3's current box office performance? With it standing at the low to mid $300 million, which I guess puts it ahead of Sonic 1, it still has a ways to go to beat Sonic 2 and then surpass it. What do you think about the current performance? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys guys have to say. Feel free to follow my social media links, my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those things in my life, future content, and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic, whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comic books, merchandise, and more. We talk about it all. I have a lot of Sonic Movie 4 videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. We have a lot of discussions about other various different Sonic topics. Got a lot more merchandise content on the way for you guys as well. And then we of course still have that very big video I've been working on. Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, guys, but I'll see you guys very soon in another video. Peace out.
And be right by the motherfucking seaside, dog. Everything I see, I got a dream. I thought these leaves would go and take me out the dark. I know everything I wanted to far away.